Hello, hi, sanibonani, igama lami nguSithabile kaMazubane. This is World Gospel Impact Church. It is our talk show. We're talking youth and all things concerning the youth. And today we're talking about something that I would like to say is particularly close to my heart. So I'm really excited about this one. And that is something that I'm hoping that everybody at home will be able to relate to. If you're watching us on YouTube, then make sure that you subscribe and hit that notifications bell. Also, if you're watching us on Facebook, make sure that you like this video and you share it. We're talking about how to persevere in tough times. And I know that all of us at some point went through a tough time or we're going through a tough time right now. And I'm going to hand over to my panelists and I'm going to ask them to just shortly introduce themselves and then we'll dive straight in. Mama, ngicela uqala ngapha.
Greetings everyone. Igama lami nguBalungile wakandlela uMamchunu intombi emhlophe ngiyabonga.
Hey, umhlophe ngempela. All right, let's go to the far end.
Sanibona noxolo kaNdamani Sibongo. Yeah.
All right, great to meet you, Noxolo.
Sanibonani, igama nguphelo kuhle wakankosi. Thank you.
All right, phela kuhle wakankosi. Okay, Mamdlela, because umama ngizoke ngiqale ngawe nje and just throw you in there. Kuneculu ukuthi kuyizithunywa zokungi. Does God use tough times? Can we just talk about this notion of God using tough times to bring us closer to Him? Is that a thing?
I would say yabona lo mhlabeleli owathe ubhala, it's because it was verified and it was approved. So imhlabeleli in most cases ayiveli isuke nje isukele entweni. I can just take it to a personal level. How I got close to God, it was when I lost my mother. Then I realized that, yazi, I had to go through this ukuze ngizobona uNkulunkulu. I don't think ukuthi if I didn't lose my mother when I was doing grade 12, I wouldn't have this relationship enginayo noNkulunkulu. Because ilanga qala khona ukumsaba uNkulunkulu ngabona ukuthi no, who is this man okwazi ukuthatha ithemba lami kangaka? So I fully agree with umhlabeleli ukuthi konke kuyizithunywa. Tough times indeed they do push us to God. But it just depends on a person because what I'm sharing right now, I could have went another side. I could have been like, okay, I'm all free, my mother is gone, you know. So it all depends on a person as well. But for me, on my personal experience, for me, impela kwakuyizithunya zokungisondeza noNkulunkulu, impela ukulahlekelwa umama.
All right, yeah, bengishilo ukuthi siyangena. Phelokazi. Does God, is it His plan? Does He orchestrate bad times for us just so He can bring us closer?
Yabona leyo ngizothanda ukuvumelana nawe kuleyo party leyo because kodwa uNkulunkulu ahlala ngithi akachezuki kuchezuka thina. So ikhathi ezinzima ngizovuma yes ziyakwenza kwawena as umuntu ukuthi ubuyele kuNkulunkulu because that's where I'll say ungasazi ukuthi what you're gonna do ungasazi ukuthi which side to go to, but the only person that you know very well ukuthi he's gonna take out from their situation, it's only God. I remember today as ngibone ipost engayiposta 2014 ukuthi the shortest distance between a solution and a problem is through idolo and the floor. Okuthi just to bow down and pray. Yeah.
All right, Noxolo, does God use troubles and tough times to bring us closer?
It's a yes from me. Njoba uphelo kuhle bese shilo ukuthi la usubona khona ukuthi usuqhelelene noNkulunkulu. Not really la usubona khona. La osuku usuqhelelene khona noNkulunkulu. uNkulunkulu uyakukhombisa ukuthi no ususukile kumina. So manje awusondele and then ebeka a tough situation kuwena. Bese nawe uyabona ukuthi no sengigwegwile manje. Ake ngibuyele enkosini. Mhlambe indlela zami zoqonda.
All right, I want to challenge all of you because nonke nithi uNkulunkulu usebenzisa. I don't see God. I don't see, just like I don't see a parent. Yabona eshisa ingane yakhe intentionally ngoba ethi ngifuna ukuthi usondele. So I want to challenge you guys kule perspective mom ngizoza ngakuwena futhi ukuthi I know the word says all things work together for good. Yabo, I feel like it wasn't His plan, but because now you're here, it's going to work for your good. Uthini ngalokho?
No, yabona nje izwi likaNkulunkulu, it doesn't ever contradict itself. That's one thing. You mentioned ukuthi konke kusebenzelana kube ngokuhle kwabamkhonzayo uNkulunkulu, and he goes on into saying he always disciplines umntwana wakhe amthandayo. So it takes us back to what they were both saying, that uNkulunkulu esebona ukuthi awenzi kahle, he needs to give you that, you know nje yabona le encane le ezokuthatha ikubuyisela. I'm reminded of umhlabeleli ethi ngihambile kude nesibaya. You know, so now izimo engihlangane nazo izona lezi ezingithathile, and they brought me back where God wanted me to be. So kahle kahle, all the trials and tribulation, they try and bring us back to the original position that God wants us to be. So impela kunjalo konke kusebenzelana kube ngokuhle. Yena his intentions were never there ukuthi kwenzeke. His intention were never that I lose my mother. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep on going to that point of reference because that was where I met God. So it was never his intention that I experienced that, but maybe I was so far from him. I thought my mother was everything, and then God said, you know what? I'm just going to take this everything, Yako, and then you would realize that I'm your everything.
All right, I want us to then move into a place where, and I know we've all found ourselves in this place, where you know you've prayed and you've applied what we call faith.
Yeah.
So you've prayed and you've faithed and you've quoted the word, and then it just feels like God is silent. No, I'm coming to you with this one. How do we move past that point? Yoguti, God, I feel like you're not saying anything.
Yabo leyo idinga ukuthi ube ne support system strong. Isikhathini esiningi from your family. Yabo la usukubona khona ukuthi no, everything is just shutting down for you. Kumele wenze sure ukuthi kuba khona umuntu whom you communicate with, whom will give you positive minds. Ngoba as people we tend to be negative kwezinye isikhathi. Well, from my perspective and talking from my experience, kona la kona where I've been down, depressed and stuff, but with support from my family, amandla wona akhona, ngiyawathola amandla from them ukuthi ngibe strong.
Phela kuhle, what do you do when you've done everything that you can do?
Yabona njengoba beseshilo uXolombe ukuthi i-support system from your family, it gives you that hope ukuthi yes, fine, we are going through such, but you are going to come out. But still again, if uzazi ukuthi ngumntwana kaNkulunkulu and you know ukuthi his timing asaba late, his timing is always right. So it could be ukuthi he's trying to avoid some clashes along the way. If ever, I'm going to give you this car. You're praying for your car, obviously. I'm going to give you this car. But I know, Guti, your mindset, to handle, because remember, Guti, whatever that you are praying for, there is consequences. If you're praying for a rain, please be minded, Guti, there is mud along the way.
Yeah, you know, Mamdlela, they're talking about something that I think was probably going to lead us into our next discussion, and that's a support system. How important, or how much of a role actually do people around you play when you are going through tough times? Because if I make an example, Ngami, when I'm going through something, I really just don't want calls, I don't want texts, I just want to put my head down and just go through whatever it is. So how much of a role do people around us play?
Yazi, to actually tell you, when they were speaking, I had a question of my own. Namaguti, senzanjani in a case whereby when our we support system, like you mentioned your family, but I'm the support system for my family. So what do I do when
Who's the support system?
Who's the support system for the system? Because sometimes the system does want to collapse. There are times where I just want to collapse. There are times that I just want to cry, you know. I just want to say, I'm not okay, you know. So, so I think ngiyamdinga shoulder to cry on. Shoulder to cry on. Shoulder to cry on. I want someone nami ngizokhala kuyena. So it's very important that we don't stay strong forever. Because what I seem to realize about myself, I can stand very strong for isikhathi eside, but when I break kube ngazuthi kwenzakaleni. So we do need those people. They play a very huge role, more especially for those people that come across as being strong, as people that can take anything. Yeah, Yizwa Leon. So we do need they play a huge role just to answer you. We need them. We do.
Yazi, okay.
Yes, phela kuhle.
Yazi Mrs Ndlela ngoba ekhuluma laphayana ngiyazizwa zihlekezele emehlweni because umuntu sometimes they look at the physical appearance and then they think everything is okay. Babuka umuntu smile, laughing, sharing jokes or whatever, and then they think everything is okay. Sometimes it's not okay.
Yeah.
Even if umntwana kaNkulunkulu, sometimes it's not okay.
Yeah.
You need that person ozofika kuwena athi, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Even if ungati, yes, it's okay, but you need that person who's gonna dig deep, like, is it really, really okay? Because sometimes it's not. Right now, I know. Personally, it's not. But we're not gonna go there, but sometimes it's not. Even suthandazile, wabona ukuthi izinto azikhanyi, ufuna ikhanyi, but then you be like, who will I talk to? Because there's nobody.
Yeah, Xolo, do you want to lean into this?
I just want to add ukuthi as uMamdlela nophela kuhle bekhuluma lento le emqondo nami it rings igama lithi faith. Mfundisi always talks about faith. Empilweni nje you need to faith it until it happens, until you make it. Ayikho into edlula ifaith emhlabeni. Ngoba once you lose faith, everything just goes down. You feel like you don't have hope. Your life is a mess. Yes, at times in impilo yakho ingabe a mess, kodwa if you have faith, everything will work for your good.
You know, Xolo, you're speaking about faith, and it's just reminding me of a story that I recently heard. I'm just going to quickly relay it to you. Kuthiwa kwakune war in Vietnam, and the guys that survived the war were then asked, how do you get yourselves out in these tough times? And he talks about that balance between faith and truth. Uguti, those that were optimistic, Uguti, we're going to make it by December, they died when December came and the tough times were still there.
Yeah.
So how do we strike this balance between remaining hopeful, but also balancing it with the truth? Uguti, right now, we're just going through a hard time. How do we strike that balance?
I think we can bring it very close, njengamanje. Right now, we are facing this pandemic, which is, a lot of things has been said about us, abazalwane. I'm going to speak for myself, ngumzalwane. A lot of things have been said about us, ukuthi bapha abazalwane, na. So, how we balance is, ukuthi, simile nje ezweni likaNkulunkulu, because aliguquki izwi likaNkulunkulu. A lot of things zingenzeka. For me, the balance is in the word of God. Ngoba uthi yena ezwini lakhe angeke azasinike ongaphezulu kwalokho singakwazi ukukhengilisha. So lokho angeke uzokushintshwe ukuthi sibhekene necorona ngokuthi abazalwane haven't done anything. If wena uzazi, if you are not moved by what is being said, and if you are not moved by any situation, and if you are not shaken by any situation, in that bazebati tough situations don't laugh, but tough people, yes, something like that. So I think it's all about that. Sometimes you just need to have a stubborn faith. Just be stubborn. It's imvula ishona ishayele wena ushona uphuma ushonele. Kube ngazi uthi imvula uyibone, because I think ikona lokho abasibona ukuthi that's why we don't even argue on social network. Mengabe sibona ukuthi okay, they are just going for us. And inkinga ukuthi they going for us enyameni, and asibona abantu benyama Nkosi yami. We in the spirit. Izinto eziningi sidila nazo in the spirit. So it's just knowing what God has said. Whose belief shall you believe?
Well, I'm going to bring it to you this side. How do we find that balance? That nice balance. How much faith, how much truth? How do we strike that balance? A nice balance.
Njengomamdlela eshilo, we need to stand firm. Singasuki ezweni laNkulunkulu. Njengalo mhlabeleli lo othi it is well with my soul. If you keep on reciting it in your head, it is going to happen. Well, yes, we can face reality. Kodwa if uwazi ukuthi wena uphetheni ngala, uyazazi ukuthi ufunani kuzokwenzeka.
All right, so I want us to move on quickly before we're out of time. If you're watching this, it is World Gospel Impact Church. We're live. Comment below. Let us know how you get through tough times, as we all know that we all go through hard times. I want us to talk about when the Word of God says, do not worry. I know I've been through times where worrying is literally the only thing I can do. And Phelo Kuhle, I'm going to start with you. When worry just wants to overcome you, how do you get through that conflict, Lab?
Yazi leyo uthi abazalwane most of the time they don't want to face that iqiniso ukuthi umzalwane naye uyafika lesikhathi leso ukuthi abe worried. But ayikho into ongakwazi ukuyiqeda ngayo i-worry noma i-anxiety except for prayer. I-prayer iyakuthatha kwi-zone of death. Ikubeke kwi-zone of being alive and being healthy. Ungabonakali ukuthi there's anything worrying you. Abona if ever uzoqinisa lapho kakhulu njengoba ngishilo ukuthi akukho kubalekile ngedolo lokubheka phezulu ukuthi hayi mntana konke sekukuwena manje mina ngisazi.
Mamdlela, na iwari sifikile isekemnyango. Iyangqongqoza.
Okay, to be honest, I cry a lot. And crying leads to praying. Ukubona ukhale ungazi ukuthi uyijethi wena uyakhala uyagonyuluka. Kanti umoya ingcwele nje usafuna ukuthi nje ukhiphe lesibibithwana, and then the next thing he comes over and then you start praying. And then after praying, you feel a lot lighter. You feel engazi noma situation noma ungaphuma ekamereni in your prayer corner, a situation uyifice dining room, but it will not longer be the same. The situation is going to be there, but it's no longer going to be worrying because God has lifted up that burden in kuwena. So angikwazi ukuyichaza ukuthi iyenzeka kanjani because mina ngigcina ngikhala because I'm worried. And then God comes and then he takes over, and then the next thing, this thing is no longer worrying me. It's like Eva, ubona ungabe uhlatshwe yiva noma usulikhiphile noma unyathela uyeza ukuthi no ngike ngahlabeka lana, you know, it's just that there's a reminder that uke wahlabeka but evil lisukela lisengasekho. So I think with prayer, prayer yenza njalo, Eve yalisusa, but the pain it reminds them something that's going to remind you ukuthi yazi ukuthini ngisakhona njalo, you know, ngisakhona, but it's akusabhlungu njengasekuqaleni basically. So I think prayer yenza lokho nje kumuntu.
Ekugcineni Mama Undlela, and I'm going to start ngawe. Ukuthi sometimes we've prayed to God and it's a yes. And then sometimes we've prayed and it's a maybe. And then sometimes we've prayed and it's a no, or maybe let me say a not yet. How do we deal with times where we feel like a not yet? Briefly.
And not yet, mfethu ibhlungu because wena usuke usude already. Yabona ingcono ngisho no. Kungcono when you have heard the Lord saying no. You know it's okay, that's not mine. Okay, no, ngiyadlula la. Angidlulele phambili ngibheke something. But not now. Inzima kakhulu because you start praying wrong prayers into like questioning God. Ukuthi nini if it's not now? Nini if it's not now? But the most important thing is just keeping the faith that the time is going to be now. Because kungenzeka noma yini with God. If he said not now, angavuka ngisasekuseni athi it's now. We understand. So I can just say ukuthi iyakudelayisa because uba stuck kuleyo nto because wena vele you are already living in it. Kanti uNkulunkulu usekhulumile wathi not yet. And when you're like, no, Lord, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. You know, ubona masukhuluma noNkulunkulu like you speaking to umngani wakho, you're like, awukahle baba, I mean phela. I'm ready.
I'm ready. All right, very shortly, Xolo, I'm going to come to you, and then Phelo Kuhle, we're going to close it off. We are out of time, unfortunately. Just quickly, how do you deal with that not now or not yet?
Not yet ungikhumbuza iscript, for I know the plans I have for you. Ukuthi we shouldn't worry about the now. And unothi yesu awungaqasuli you as a person because uNkulunkulu knows the plans asibekile for our future. So thina ukuthi nje sehlala ezweni lakhe simlalele ukuthi mayithi not now singalokhu silwa ke manje uthi no ngifuna manje lento cha mayithi not now ima kancane uzokunika isikhathi sakhe.
All right, Phelo Kuhle.
In brief, not now nje umamdlela beseshilo uyakhubaza kancane, but when you know vele vele ukuthi this is your thing, akungakuhluphi kakhulu ukuthi not now, which means makuthiwa not now, you were close, which means what you have to do is to pray a bit harder. You're gonna get there. Not now, yes.
All right, we do end it off like that for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you like our Facebook page. Like us on all social media platforms. We are going to keep bringing you this youth-filled content. I'm going to close it off with my verse, and I'm going to take it from James 1, and it says, "Consider it pure joy, brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." Now, don't leave the gym too soon, because God is still at work with us. My name is Tabileka Mazubane. Thank you so much for joining us.